about 60 diesels. So you can join me here today in front of my top quality new acquisition. Now, as we've explained in a video earlier, you may be looking at this thinking, why is he so chuffed about having a shitty green 55 plate Kangoo? But this is no ordinary shitty green 55 plate Kangoo. This is a shitty green 55 plate 1.9 turbo diesel 4-wheel drive Kangoo. Man's always wanted one of them. And I found this on the local Facebook marketplace, because they're all normally about £5,000. Man wasn't prepared to pay that for one. This one was 500 quid, supposedly with a snap cam belt. Now we have managed to ascertain, by turning the engine over and having a look at the cam belt, that the cam belt is absolutely fine. Via a dose of top quality bodgery, and we'll show you some of that, I've thrown most of it off. What we did find out was that the Chinesian brand new starter motor that was on there, with some plastic planetary gears, had gnarled itself. So the reason it didn't want to turn over and make noises was the starter motor was tossed, rather than hopefully the engine. So what we have acquired, thanks to Ruben Simmons Auto Salvage, good man, go and have a look on eBay, sells lots of stuff, buys scrap cars, excellent man, is a genuino, slightly worn, but in working order, original Renault starter motor that is made of less cheese than the crappy Chinese one. So what I'm going to attempt to do now, using the lift, is put this back on me Renault Kangoo and see if it'll crack off, or whether the engine's gnarled or the injection system's gnarled. But I did see it in a lay-by a week before I bought it, running and driving. So a man's quietly confident that admittedly we might have some injection problems, because there was a can of Easy Sniff in it, which we were assuming they were using for getting it going. And the best bit is the cherry bomb exhaust fitted at the back. I mean, she is just perfect. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to go up in the air, fetty starter motor. Right, so after a bit of adaptation, it didn't quite fit the first time starter motor, was slightly different to the one I took off of it. That's that bolted on there, bit of drilling, bit of angle grinder adjustment, same bolt pattern, different holes, but different threads in the holes. But anyway, it's bolted on there, hopefully it'll work. We'll see, I suppose. Not nana itself any more than it currently is. See if it does a revolution. Just makes chewy noises. Right, battery pack. Bring you in here a bit. Right, we've connected a battery pack. We'll wing it over, see if it goes over a bit faster. I'm not hopeful for the fact that the fuel system is any good. Might need a bit of sniff. Don't think she's got the heat ropes. Right, this was the can of sniff supplied with the vehicle. So in that manifold is that one, isn't it? Let's see what happens. Right, let's try direct injection sniff whilst turning it over. That can reach like that. Oh, too much sniff. Should have known. Right, That's not working, is it? Let's see if it's got any fuel. 100% confident this thing is any good. There's not a lot of fuel coming out of that road, is there? I wonder if someone's drained the tank. Fairly possible. That does not sound particularly promising, does it? And we've got fuel coming around the system. This is all mobilised. Okay. Unlucky. It won't run without the airflow meter. That's possible. Right, plug the airflow meter and see if that makes any difference. Right, store that. I think that battery's a lot of cock to you. Right, rubbish, let's get battery. Right, let's do a better calibre battery. Nothing been pulled out of there. Do you have any fuel? Right here. These things never get any lighter. Right, go on. You get anything cool? Right. Give it all the hope in the world, I suppose. Right, I don't think got any fuel. Pretty confident we haven't got any fuel. This rail should spew diesel everywhere. Nothing. Right. We'll have to go beat it with the diagnostic machine, aren't we? I don't know what we've done there. Possibility of a crank sensor? A multitude of things, couldn't it? Right, so continuation on the world's cheapest 4x4 kangoo. It's worked out quite well. Now, I was doing this the other night. It got a bit dark out here. So the last bit of footage you'll see, I beat it with the diagnostic machine. And it came up with a million codes for all sorts of random stuff. So we thought, right, let's go sensibly and we'll clear all of those. And then turn the ignition back on, wang it over. No attempted start. But it come back code clear. You were like, that's a bit strange. So we'll give it a sniff of the brake cleaner because it doesn't like easy start. And it fired and ran and then cut straight out. So it basically, we thought, well, it's got to be fuel. So these little kangoos have, these 19s have electric fuel delivery pumps. So first off, we pop these pipes off just here, turn the ignition on, and fuel peed out everywhere in here. So I've got fuel coming from the tank. And bolted here is a high pressure fuel pump. So these little 19 DCIs, so you've got a high pressure fuel pump, 3 pistons, metal pistons, basically cam, wobbling it round, run off the cam belt, delivers fuel to a high pressure fuel rail bolted here. And then each individual injector is fed off of that. And the injectors are electronically fired, little electromagnetic valves by the engine management computer, which is over there somewhere. So we sort of cracked an injector off, wang it over, not a drop, nothing. Thought, that's a bit strange. So left the injector over, give it a sniff of brake cleaner, it fired up, still nothing, so it's not delivering any fuel. Now, on the back of these pumps down the bottom here is what's known as a fuel quantity adjuster. And the fuel quantity adjuster on this van is brand spanking new. I mean, it's all shiny. So one was assuming, and one of the codes in the computer originally was for an open circuit on the fuel quantity adjuster, so that as if someone had taken the plug off of it, turned the ignition on, faffed around with it, changed it. And we thought, right. So anyway, what I did quickly was you can very carefully, you can get to the top of the 3 pistons and the pump. So we just pulled the pump apart, pulled the piston out, looked at it, checked it over, wang it over just to see if the cam was rotating, nothing broken in there. So the pump was rotating and the cam's rotating. Cleaned it, put it back together again. Thought that's strange, it should be delivering fuel. Still nothing. So pulled the quantity adjuster out down here. Turned the electric pump on, and obviously diesel's coming through the pump. Marvellous. Cleaned it, put the fuel quantity adjuster back in. Now, a failed quantity adjuster wouldn't stop it delivering any fuel. There's no way of shutting this fuel pump off, really. All the fuel shutdown to stop it is done by the injectors. So I'm thinking that's proper weird. I mean, I've had these pumps fail before where they won't deliver enough rail pressure to start, but I've never had them before where they won't deliver anything. So we kept faffing around with it. In the end, I took this supply line off that goes from the pump to the high pressure rail, wang it over, nothing. And there's a banjo, like a joiner, connection joiner that joins into the pump from this rail, or from this pipe. And I thought, sod it, I've got nothing to lose. I mean, at the end of the day, it's dead. I pulled that out. So on those, you've got a little screw-in fitting, and behind it is a little round metal disc that sits with a washer tight up into the pump, and it's got a tiny little pinhole in it where the fuel's pumped through. I pulled that out, and stuck in the pinhole is a lump of the old rubber seal from the previous fuel quantity adjuster. And you were like, never. Anyway, fished that out, blew it out, put it back in. Watch this. Runs perfectly. Sadly, they seem to have lost the air filter in the top of the airbox. Can't have everything, so I've ordered one of them off Tinterweb. Starts, drives, that's from cold. Gotta be the world's cheapest turbo diesel 4-wheel drive kangoo, isn't it? Right, I'll lift it up and show you the exhaust. You've got to see the exhaust. It is quality. Now, we are going to need to bring you in closer to just marvel at the quality fabrication involved from the master engineer and fabricator who made this exhaust pipe. I mean, she is probably one of the most spectacular loads of turd I think I've ever seen. I'm going to get in and bring you in here and you can have a good look at it. So, have a look at that. I mean, so obviously, this is luckily enough, the original exhaust flange that we haven't cut off. So what we've got here is the old exhaust flange where the back bit must have come off. Now, so we haven't really used any welding stuff there. We've just poked that in there. Now, that doesn't mean that this is not supported, obviously, and hitting the subframe. So when you came back here, because now that's got no exhaust mounts, what we thought we'd do is we obviously needed an anti-vibration damper. So what we've got there is a remnant of an old CV boot with a Jubilee clip. And I mean, look at that. And then, obviously, I mean, we needed a cherry bomb here. And what you'll see it's done is it's very nicely, because of the mounting position, melted through this tank vent pipe. I mean, she's quality now. So when you installed it, you thought, no, that diesel tank vent pipe there, we don't need that. We'll just burn that off. And then obviously, I mean, the quality of this fitment. So we did make a mount through the floor of the van. I mean, another utilised top quality Jubilee clip there to hold the rubber mount on. I mean, look at it. I mean, honestly, it is absolute junk. And so then we fitted a cherry bomb of a much smaller diameter than the pipe coming out of the fan. I mean, I've seen it all. Yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut that off. I've ordered a proper exhaust because, I mean, it's a turbo diesel. It just farts and makes horrible noises through that. But, I mean, look at this for a drivetrain. It's pretty good. So I've got some CV boots were missing, so I've got some of them. I might have a spare one here, possibly. So she's got proper little back diff shaft going all the way through that we're always missing, and the centre bearing's good. Front exhaust boxes are lovely, and basically we've got 9 lower arm joints. That's absolutely fine because we've got new arms. We've got a load of new bits fitted, but we've got some broken coil springs up in there. And same for this side. That was the MOT fail. And I mean, I can't even believe you sort of attempted taking it for an MOT with this silencer, because they obviously did mention the fact that it's rubbish and it's about to set fire to your vehicle. Right, so we'll leave this one here. So I'm going to steam all this nastiness out of the back, figure out if this top quality pile of parts that came with it does actually fit, because I'm not 100% sure those are the right lower arms. They do look a bit two-wheel drive sort of kangoo-ish, but we'll work through that. And as you'll see, obviously this van is painted a horrible, badly done, hand-painted ministry green. It's not really what a man wants. Now, it would appear that it was originally like a bluey-purple colour. And then, I'm assuming for whatever utility company, airport it was on, they painted it yellow, but nicely painted it yellow. So, luckily enough, when the people decided to hand-paint it green, the sort of adhesion prep they did, well, that didn't exist. So we might have washed it off a little bit, and we sort of just rolled it on over the top. So I have found that if I steam it, the green falls off. So I'm going to have a weekend, of steaming the death out of it and seeing if I can salvage the yellow. And then if I can't, I'm going to have to paint it back whatever colour I fancy. But I am well chuffed with my little kangoo, and I've got to get rid of some of this top quality nastiness here. So if you had a tiny hole in your back floor here, which is totally repairable, see, what you'd do is you'd fill it full of a load of this snot, because that'll fix that one up, instead of just sort of gingerly removing this rubber and fixing it, which would have taken like an hour. Save that bit. So luckily enough, I have a dead kangoo out the back with a good floor, so I'm going to hack that bit out. But we'll do that in another video. So maybe next time when we'll have had the kangoo all cleaned up, it may very possibly be yellow. We'll have attended to the MOT issues, and this is going to be probably my new transport for a while. I've now got obviously an issue because I'm sort of tired. I've got a Peugeot 309 turbo diesel, and this man can't drive too many vehicles as his daily driver, can he? That doesn't include the other 5 I've got out in the yard. But anyway, I'm now prattling on. World's cheapest 4-wheel drive kangoo. Works. Right, Al 60 diesels. We'll see you guys Sunday.